and we have an exciting DD2 and DD2 Masters encounter to give us some welcome action over the next 14 minutes or so. Your grid for the final time this weekend is as follows. It's DD2 and DD2 Masters final number 2. Belgium's Zander Schiblak in the 422 will have Italy's Riccardo Alberti alongside him on the front row in the treble 4. Ville Villelainen and Jakub Bezel will complete row number 2 in 416 and 401. Then it's the 455 of David Remy and the 425 of Kristian Sorensen who complete row number 3. Rounding out the top 10, it is Andreas Fors in the 424, Dionysis Liveris in the 456, Jusso Pantala in the 451, and Peter Bezel in the 402. Jan Schwitter had when I spoke to him during the lunch break, very more upbeat about his results today, apart from what happened in the qualifying heat stages yesterday. He starts 11th. Alongside will be Norway's very own Sivert Moiland. Matthias Dahl and Madeleine Radny complete the top 7 rows, with Sebastian de Grande from Belgium rounding out the top 15. Mingus Falk starts in 16th ahead of Florian Breitenbach in the 433. Nico Jorg in 18th ahead of Christoph Adams, who will start on DD2 Masters pole. He's been the one to beat this weekend in that category. Even though there are only 4 competitors, he has been ahead of Roberto Pajewski the whole weekend long, and it looks like Pajewski could hold on to a championship lead, leaving here and heading to Wackersdorf in just a few weeks' time. Slavomir Miransky will start behind Pajewski, and alongside the pole will be the 429 of Daniel Oberheuter from Austria. Michael Becker from Germany, Oliver Breitenbach and Piotr Wisnicki complete the 25-strong grid. Wisnicki has got an incredible amount of work to do. He retired out of the first final. Let's see what the Polish driver does over the next 14 minutes plus an additional lap. And now it's down to Schiblak. For those watching at home on your screens on the live stream here, thanks to our friends at Camp Company GmbH, and also the timing provided by MW Race Consulting, Zander Schiblak will be on the left-hand side of your screens on pole position. Alberti, the Italian, alongside. Will we go lights out this time? Looks like we have done. Time has started ticking away. Alberti, well, Schiblak has pulled off already. That's a real disaster for the pole sitter. Not too sure what happened then. The car just went straight on. So Schiblak already out, and he hadn't even reached the apex of turn number 1. This means that we have a new leader, and the leader, I think, is going to be Ville Villelainen. He's ahead of Riccardo Alberti. David Remy up into 3rd place now. And that means Jakub Bezel will be in 4th position behind the Swede. So Zander Schiblak out of the cart already. Marshall, that's a despondent-looking Belgian, unfortunately, walking back to Parc Fermé. But in the meantime, the action's really going to heat up now, because we've got Ville Villelainen from Finland, and we'll have Riccardo Alberti from Italy in the treble 4, just behind the Finn. So that's 1st and 2nd. 3rd is David Remy. 4th is Jakub Bezel. No, that's not Jakub, that's Peter Bezel. He's flown up the order, has the 402 from 10th. On the start. So I'm wondering what happened. Was there contact that may have caused Schiblak to have gone straight on, or was it just the fact that the steering was not working? Alberti going over the hump gets very, very tail happy there, but he keeps it under control as David Remy really coming under fire now from Peter Bezel, who takes the position. Just seeing where Jakub is in all of this. Looks to be in around about 6th position, and it could be that Kristian Sorensen is up into 5th place, so this has really changed everything now. A bit more battling down towards the back part of the field. Looks like Daniel Oberhout and Oliver Breitenbach are battling with Ikes. Well, where is Slavomir Miransky and everything? He's right down in the penultimate position at the moment. That puts him on 23rd place at the minute, and down at the bottom of the classification of DD2 Masters. But I have to say that Roberto Pajewski's really got to get a motor on if he wants to get past Christoph Adams. So Zander Schiblak, that's a real shame for the Belgian. Cart has been pulled away well off the racing line and off the circuit, as Alberti is trying to hustle his way past Villelainen for the lead. The Italian really trying to use momentum as his key factor to trying to go with Villelainen. He's trying to use it. He darts up the inside of the Finn. Oh, and clashes with him. Pushes the pair wide, and that allows Peter Bezel to take the lead. David Remy now up into 2nd. Oh, we've got one off. Who was that? That's Kristian Sorensen who was involved, and one of the other Bezels, that was Jakub, the points leader. He went 360 degrees coming through the exit of the S-bend here at Kristianstad. So he now really Hopefully that car is not too badly damaged, but if that is, he's going to have to park it. If the steering's not tracking true, that was an absolute nightmare for the points leader. But Peter Bezel leads from David Remy. That's a real change because Alberti and Villilainen were clashing. Villilainen now drops there. That looks to be in 5th position now as Alberti trying to... Well, where is Alberti in all of this? He's way down. He's down in about 6th place at the moment is the Italian, having clashed with Villilainen, who is hanging on to 3rd place at the moment. As Alberti has just looked at the right-hand side of the... that's the engine side. Now, with the contact with him and Villilainen, has that put him out of the race? Well, he's dropped way down the order. The Italian no longer a factor in this competitive race itself, as Andreas Fors from Sweden is now the one that's going to be challenging Villilainen for 3rd position. And Dionysius Livris, the Greek driver, is moving up. He is in 5th place. He's not letting anyone else get out of his sight. He wants to go for it. And that is definitely personified right now. He's up into 5th. He started in 8th position, did the Greek driver from Dames Racing, the 456. And he's really, really getting a move on now. He's got Andreas Fors and Villilainen just up ahead. Just behind him is Jan Schwitter, up from 11th position, up into 6th. Madeline Radney now up into 7th, ahead of Christian Sorensen, Juuso Pantala, Matthias Dahl. That completes the top 10, with the top 2 really trying to break away from the rest of the opposition. And I can tell you this, David Remy is really looking very good indeed here. He is closing on Peter Bezel for the lead of this race as there's more positional changes. Oh, well, I tell you what, looks like Villilainen lost out to Andreas Fors, but then he tries to go around out the outside. Dionysius Livris shoves his way past Villilainen to take 4th. And he's going to be right on the back bumper. And I tell you what, and he's going to be right on the back bumper of Andreas Fors right now as the Greek driver. But I tell you what, Madeline Radney has got past Jan Schwitter, I believe, for position, which she has done. So Jan Schwitter has dropped behind the Swede. So that's great work from Madeline Radney. Looks like Villilainen is dropping down the order quite quickly right now. Has he got an issue as a result of that contact a little bit earlier with Riccardo Alberti? We'll find out very, very soon. But Alberti, I think, has just parked it. Not too sure. I haven't seen him come through the pit lane just yet. So no sign of him on the circuit at the moment from my line of sight as Peter Bezel is leading. David Remy, however, is going to try and close that gap. Can't do so right now. He was nearly 0.3 of a second slower. Andreas Fors is in 3rd. Dionysius Livris, Madeline Radney now is in 5th position. So the 468 really getting a move on. This is obviously, she's on home soil too, along with David Remy. So 2 Swedes in the top 5. No, make that 3 with Andreas Fors, who's currently in 3rd position. But Remy is really trying to close the gap to Peter Bezel at the moment. 8 minutes, 3 seconds, plus 1 additional lap to go here in this last race of the weekend. And leading DD2 Masters, it is still Christoph Adams in 18th place. But Roberto Pajewski, the Austrian from KSCA Saudi Austria, is trying to keep pace with the Belgian. And he's about a couple of car lengths behind. Bezel still leads. The gap between him and Remy is now extended. Dionysius Livris shoots up the inside of Fors for 3rd place. What a great move from the Greek racer from Dames Racing. He's absolutely slingshotted past it with true perfection there. But Madeline Radney really is clearly in the fight for a top 3 finish. She's got a ringside seat behind Livris and Fors right now. Just behind them, you've got Villilainen, who's started to recover. He's ahead of the likes of Jan Schwitter, who's trying to go up the inside. Juuso Pantala tries to pounce on Jan Schwitter, pushes the Swiss driver wide, and Schwitter loses out 2 places. So that was Christian Sorensen that also gets past. Florian Breitenbach really trying to factor into the bottom part of the top 10. He's 10th at the moment. Is he going to try and do something brave here? Not too sure quite yet. But is he going to make a move on Jan Schwitter very, very shortly? We'll be very shortly finding that out as the 2 leaders really breaking away. Peter Bezel leading from David Remy still. Gap now is 0.444 of a second. Dionysius Livris trying to get a move on. He was about 0.3 of a second slower than David Remy. Juuso Pantala, in the meantime, has set the fastest lap of this race. Not this lap, but the one before at 53.241. 6 minutes, 32 to go, plus an additional lap. This is absolute dynamite. What a way to cap off the action here in Kristianstad. So, Sander Schiblak retired before he'd even hit the apex of turn 1, went straight on. Riccardo Alberti, after contact with Ville Villainen, retired on lap number 5. So the Italian out of the running now. So Peder Bezel, David Remy and Dionysius Livris are your top 3. Livris has still got Andreas Fors, and now the very much closing Madeleine Radny. And Fors sends it up the inside of Livris to retake 3rd position. And in many respects, I have to say that Livris is going to try and go for it. He's bump drafting on the back bumper of Fors going through turn number 1. Radny still going with them. Jusso Pantler in 6th, Ville Villainen in 7th, ahead of Christian Sorensen, Jan Schwitter and Florian Breitenbach, who completes the top 10. Piotr Wisnicki started 25th and stone dead last. I did say I'd keep an eye on him. He's now 11th and going forwards, as Madeleine Radny has got past Dionysius Livris. She's up into 4th. Andreas Fors just up ahead of the 468, running on the CRG chassis. That's a great showing from Madeleine Radny. She started in 14th. She's up into 4th place now, as Andreas Fors starting to pull away. But at the moment, the stalemate continues at the front of the field. Peder Bezel, David Remy, they are the top 2, separated by just over 0.6 and 0.65 of a second, as Dionysius Livris goes back up the inside. Looks to be Ville Villainen he's battling with at the moment, as Villainen bumps the curbs going through turn 2 very hard there on the left-hand side. Nearly sends the car up onto two wheels, as Livris really putting the feelers out on Villainen, trying to get back past. Was that Jusso Pantala? That was Pantala that went up the inside of Livris there. Jan Schwitter really trying to move forward now. He's up into the top 10. He's currently 9th behind Christian Sorensen. But the 2 leaders are not really making any dent on each other. So Bezel is not pulling away. Remy is still not making any inroads. But in the meantime, Andreas Fors, Madeleine Radny and Jusso Pantala complete the top 5. Dionysius Livris is in 6th place, ahead of Ville Villainen. In terms of DD2 Masters, Christoph Adams now 16th, and he's got between him and Roberto Pajewski, who's currently in 19th position, Nico Jorg. Well, no, we'll just make that Nico Jorg now, because Pajewski's got past Sebastian de Grand. And there's more changes for position a little bit down at the bottom part of the top 10. Has Florian Breitenbach made a move on Jan Schwitter? I think he has got past. So Jan Schwitter drops down into 10th position. He started 11th when we went racing around about 10 and a half minutes ago. But Peder Bezel is still controlling proceedings, still leading the way, ahead of David Remy from Sweden. Oh, slippery surface flag, I believe that has just come out on the start-finish straight. That could be down to what's happened with Sander Triblak's kart. Drivers are really going to have to watch it right now. So just over 3 minutes plus an additional lap remaining in this race. Still to go here, as Mingus Falk now gets past Oliver Breitenbach for 14th position. Nico Jorg gets past Christoph Adams, who is now has now got Sebastian de Grand back behind him, as de Grand got past Roberto Pajewski. So Christoph Adams really doing a good job. It looks like he's going to do the double here in Kristianstad. We've got 2 minutes and 40 plus an additional lap to complete the action here in Kristianstad in southern Sweden. The second round of the season before we head to Wackersdorf in Germany on the first weekend of September, which is around about 7 weeks' time. And we have had a penalty issued. Jusso Pantala again incurs the wrath of the stewards and race control. A 5-second penalty for forcing another driver off the track. So Jusso Pantala will drop down from 5th position, and that will drop him all the way down out of the top 15 overall. That'll promote Dionysius Livris up into 5th position as a result. So Pantala being a bit too forceful, forcing another competitor wide. And we've also got 401. That is Jakob Bezel, that has got a 5-second penalty for causing a collision. So 2 5-second penalties rapidly thrown out to the drivers. So Jakob Bezel's weekend has gone from bad to worse roundabout now. He's currently in 20th. This will put him at the end of the field come the finish. So 1 minute and 28 seconds plus an additional lap. The gap now between Peter Bezel and David Remy is now 0.921 of a second. Andreas Fors is in third, a further 2.193 seconds adrift. Juuso Pantila, Madeline Hadney and Dionysis Livris, that completes the top six, but Pantila will drop out of the top six post-race after the penalty that he's been issued for forcing another driver off the track. Ville Villainen in seventh, ahead of Christian Sorensen, Florian Breitenbach and Piotr Wisnicki, who now hits the top 10. This on aggregate, with regards to obviously penalties that have been issued during the race. This will put the Polish driver up to 9th place. That will be a gain of... Oh, crikey, I'm trying to work out my maths here. So that's going to be around about 16 positions for the Polish driver. That's a great job from him as Dionysis Livris gets past Madeline Hadney for what is 5th on the road now. But that will then make it 4th place. So 22 seconds plus an additional lap remaining in this last final of the weekend here in Kristianstad. And what a showing for the likes of Peter Bezel, David Remy. It's good to see the likes of Dionysis Livris fighting in the top six, as long as Madeline Hadney. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are fast approaching the time to expire for the final time this weekend. More side-by-side action with Jan Schwitter being involved. That's it. Time's up. We're done for the weekend, apart from one more lap. Here we go. Peter Bezel will come across the start-finish line for the penultimate time before he sees the checkered flag. Gap between him and David Remy. Remy won't have enough time to catch up to him. It's just 0.887 of a second. So Andreas Fors, Juuso Pantila, Dionysis Livris, Madeline Hadney, Ville Villainen, Florian Breitenbach now gets up to 8th, which will probably put him 7th at the end of proceedings. Goes ahead of Christian Sorensen with Piotr Wisnicki now down in 10th position. Matthias Dahl has just got past Jan Schwitter for position. That is for 11th place. Riccardo Alberti and Sander Schulak have unfortunately retired. Still 23 competitors running here at the circuit. Michael Becker running last in the DD2 Masters classification, 4th position, but will be in front of Daniel Oberheuter from Austria. But ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Checkered flag waves for the final time for the Czech Republic's very own Peter Bezel. Points one finger in the air, one hand off the steering wheel. Finishes 0.919 ahead of David Remy. So some great results for some of the Swedes here on home soil, with 3 out of the top 6 make that the top 5. 3 different nationalities in the top 5. Sweden, Czech Republic and Finland all represented. Greece all represented. You make that 4 when you look at the top 6. So the final finishing order for our last race of this weekend is as follows. Peter Bezel from the Czech Republic wins the DD2 and DD2 Masters second final here in Kristianstad by 0.919 of a second, ahead of Sweden's David Remy. Andreas Fors takes 3rd place ahead of Greece's very own Dionysis Livris from Dames Racing. Well done to Madeline Radny. A top 5 finish on home soil for the 468 ahead of Ville Villainen. Florian Breitenbach finishes in 7th. Christian Sorensen in 8th. Piotr Wisnicki in 9th. Matthias Dahl in 10th. Jan Schwitter completes the top 11 representing Switzerland, with Oliver Breitenbach making it 2 brothers in the top 12. Sivert Moiland in 13th. Nico Jörg in... Sivert Moiland in 13th, ahead of Nico Jörg from Austria in 14th. Juuso Pantila, as a result of that 5-second penalty, drops all the way down to 15th position. Mingus Falk was 16th, ahead of Christoph Adams, who won for the second time in succession another final. So it's 2 wins for Roberto Pajewski this season, and now it's 2 to Christoph Adams. Sebastian de Grand in 18th, ahead of Roberto Pajewski, second in the classification for DD2 Masters in 19th, with defending champion Slavomir Maransky in the 561 from Poland rounding out the top 20. Michael Becker in 21st, Daniel Oberheuter in 22nd, with Jakub Bezel, the last of the 23 classified finishers, with Riccardo Alberti retiring through damage sustained through a contact with Ville Villainen, battling for the lead on lap number 5, with Zander Schwiblak not even making turn 1 of the final. And that's it from us here at Kristianstad.